Santa Claus doesn't scare me because I know he's not real, right? There is no Santa Claus. And so, I'll be honest with you, Brother Dan, I'll talk to you about it later. I'm not bothered. I am sometimes. I'm bothered by parents lying to their children. But I'm not bothered by images of Santa Claus. They just don't bother me. I think that we ought to keep Christ in Christmas. And you may say, well, Christmas is a heathen holiday. No, it's not. Christmas is a Christian holiday. And we may celebrate at the time that somebody, somewhere, sometimes celebrated something for a heathen. But Christians don't celebrate heathen holidays. They celebrate Christmas. And I never have, and I'm offended that you'd think I do. Christmas is for Christians, and I celebrate it. And probably will for the rest of my life as the Lord wills. But I'm not bothered by Santa Claus. You know why? I know the story of St. Nicholas, and he was probably a Christian and so forth. But Santa Claus, the story of Santa Claus is told, it's not real. There is no Santa Claus. And in a sense, there's no Santa Claus. In a sense, what the Apostle Paul is saying, he says, we have some knowledge. In other words, he's speaking to a group of people. He says, you understand this. He says, an idol's a dumb thing. And it's just an inanimate object, and it's not real. And people can worship it all they want to, but it's not real. And he says, we know that an idol's nothing in the world, and that there's none other God but one. He said, we as Christians know who God is. And He's not a stick or a stone or a rock or an image. He's the God of heaven.
Amen.
And He's not in the likeness of a four-footed beast or a creeping thing or an image made like unto man. He's the God in heaven. And we're made in His image. And we know there's no such thing as an idol, and it's not even a debate. He went on to say, he said, though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and lords many. And he speaks of the sad fact that individuals would think that there are gods. You ever seen one of those tear-jerking missions videos where some South American country, there's a large Catholic edifice, and there is a dear old lady who looks like she can barely walk, and she's crawling up the steps, kissing every single one. And it makes you very sad.
Yeah.
Because you realize here is a woman who thinks that there's a God there. Yeah. And thinks that this thing will reward her. Yeah. And she's kissing a rock, or a step, or a stone. And you and I are able to look at that thing and say, that's very sad that that woman's caught up in it. But friend, the truth of the matter is that we don't think that there's anything real about a rock. We probably shouldn't, but many times we make light of things like that. And we'll take an idol or a stone. I remember finding an idol one time and messing around with it. Probably shouldn't have, but basically doing it in irreverence and smashing it and throwing it in the trash. And anyway, remember things like that happening, occurring in my life. And the truth is, I wasn't afraid of. I remember one time somebody said, well, aren't you afraid that maybe there's a curse or something? I said, I'm really not afraid of it at all. It's a rock. I know what it's made out of. I could make another one if I wanted to, and I could smash that. That's why a lot of men make idols, by the way. They know it's inferior to them, and they want to feel that they're superior to God. And so if they have a God who's inferior to them, they'll be glad to worship it because they know they're not actually worshiping it. They're worshiping themselves because it's their creation.
That's right.
We know that as Christians.